Somaliland.
Let's expand on this in the company of Dr. Afyari Elmi, Assistant Professor of International Politics at Qatar University, also specialises in Somali political affairs. First of all, give us an idea why Somaliland has managed to remain relatively stable compared to the chaos that there is not so many hundreds of kilometres to the south.
Well, Somaliland actually has been stable for about 15 or 16 years. Since I think 1992, and there are several factors that actually help this part to stay at least stable. One is that they had some form of identity which they wanted to mobilize and use against others, namely the issue of just seceding from the rest of Somalia. But also, I have to say that the politicians there have shown some majority that whenever a conflict arises, they were able to resolve it or address it peacefully from 1992 onwards.
So the worry might be, not just from a Somaliland perspective, but perhaps from an international one as well, that any efforts to knock that off course could destabilize the country and fall into the hands of people like the Al-Shabaab fighters, maybe Al-Qaeda?
Well, the region as a whole is an interesting region simply because there are, the state system, whether the outside Somalia or within Somali enclaves, has never been or have never been strong enough to have the monopoly over legitimate violence. Absolutely, that has never been the case. So, yes, the potential is out there. And
Al-Shabaab have tried to make inroads there,
well,
but failed?
At least according to the Somaliland leadership, the suicide bombing that took place a while back was at least a product or an act of Al-Shabaab, and that's what they argue.
In fact, a lot of them, you told me earlier, that come from there.
Well, yes, and not only the leaders, but also some foot soldiers are also coming from there. So in general, Somalia or the Somali people have some sort of homogeneity where they can associate with one another. So the relationship is far more complex than one is from this party and the other is from that part. And I think the potential is still there.
How much has the international community put into Somaliland, which is not a very wealthy region, doesn't earn a great deal of money itself? How much have they put in to try and maintain this stability?
I think they have given some support, not a lot, mostly in development area. International community has encouraged and welcomed the peace and stability, and also encouraged the development in the area of political governance, which in fact Somaliland is far ahead from the rest of Somalia.
And are there concerns that the difficulties we saw in Mohammed Ado's story might destabilize the country?
The concerns actually are real. There is the opposition fears that the government is not interested in holding this election, and I think there is a lot at stake. Unless these elections take place, there might have some problems. That said, though, I just want to qualify this and say that if history tells us anything, the Somaliland leadership has shown that at least they could address and solve with the traditional leadership the issues when they arise.
And the long-standing issue of recognizing Somaliland as an independent country, it won't go away. Would it help with that long-term stability, in your opinion, if it were given
Well, the international community was not interested in going that direction, and usually state formation comes either that you have the support of the superpower, or the two countries that want to separate are in agreement, and neither exists in Somalia. Washington is not championing the secession of Somaliland. It has referred back to the AU and African Union, obviously, for obvious reasons of artificial boundaries and so many issues. They are not willing to open this debate. So I think as much as the international community encourages and supports the development in the governance and security, they may not go toward the direction of at least that's what history tells us as of now.
Dr. Elmi, thank you very much indeed. You'll keep an eye on affairs there. Come back and tell us some more. Good to have you on this news hour.
Thank you.